Welcome to the Kindergarten Toolbox Podcast. I'm your host, Amy Murray, here to help you simplify kindergarten with tools and strategies that actually work with real live 5 and 6-year-olds. Let's dive into your shortcut to calmer days and more confident writers. If you're finally settling into routines after winter break and check your calendar only to find out the 100th day is just around the corner and you feel the panic start to creep in, this episode is for you. Because once you start searching the 100th day activities, especially on Pinterest, it can get overwhelming fast. There's Facebook groups and teachers doing all the things, and it can quickly make you feel like you're not doing enough. Let's face it, you're already tired and overwhelmed. You don't need one more thing. And you start to think, if I don't do something big, then I'm doing it wrong or I'm letting my students down. Today, I want to talk about how to celebrate the 100th day of school in kindergarten in a way that is low prep, low stress, but still really fun. Because you don't have to spend hours and hours preparing for the 100th day in order for the kids to have a great time. You can make a simple mindset shift that might change the way you feel about all of these things. The 100th day of school is not a performance. It's a celebration of growth, of time spent together. Your students don't need you to spend hundreds of dollars at the Dollar Tree or elaborate decorations. What they do need is something special, something that feels familiar so they don't start acting all crazy, and something they can be successful with. Simple doesn't have to mean boring. In this case, simple means calm, and calm days are better than chaos. One of the ways that we always made this day feel extra special was our 100th day of school t-shirt designing. Now, this is the only thing that we did that was a little bit over the top, but it's done at home, not at school. I know some parents and families really grumble about having to do at-home projects and things, but at my school, the 100th day of school always came with some kind of family component. And I made the switch to doing a t-shirt design, and parents really embraced it. So we would count from the 100th day backwards and give them at least 2 full weekends to work on this, ideally 3, so there's not complaints. And we just asked them to take a t-shirt, maybe an old one that their child had outgrown. They could purchase them at a hobby store. I always bought like a pack of larger sized white t-shirts at Walmart and sent them home for kids who didn't have them or kept some on hand so they could decorate them at school. And their job was to decorate it with 100 things, however they'd like. And then on the 100th day of school, we did a little fashion show where we walked through the halls of the school and showed our t-shirts to the other kids. We didn't invite parents. We didn't make it a huge thing. We just paraded around and showed off their hard work. So this was one of those things where participation mattered a lot more than perfection. Having a couple extra shirts on hand and markers and letting kids design their own if they showed up without a shirt was easy breezy and no big deal. But it was super fun to parade through the hall on the 100th day of school. The kids loved it. All right, my next advice for the 100th day of school is build your stations and activities with things you already have on hand. Don't reinvent the wheel. And if you need materials and you have families who are willing to make donations to your classroom, send out a little note and say, hey, for the 100th day of school, we're going to need stickers or we're going to need whatever it is you need for your centers, and see if you can get donations that way so you're not the one who has to foot the bill for all the things. You can have a lot of fun in stations on the 100th day of school with materials that you already have in your classroom, just using them in fun, different ways. Like you probably have snap cubes or Unifix cubes or whatever you call those little cubes that stick together. So one of your stations can be putting 100 cubes together or building things with 100 cubes. What different things can you build? Maybe you have some Play-Doh. Can they make 100 little Play-Doh balls? You probably have tweezers and pom-poms. Can you move 100 pom-poms using the tweezers from this bin to that bin kind of thing? There's all different things you can do with the materials you already own, and it won't cost you a thing. And it will feel new and unique to your students because you're using those materials in a fun way. I always like to have a couple of 100th day read-alouds on hand for when things start to get a little wonky or your schedule gets off on the 100th day. A read-aloud's a great way to bring everybody back to center. And I don't know about you, but we always started the year with Miss Bindergarten Gets Ready for Kindergarten. And there's a great 100th day version of Miss Bindergarten that's perfect for your 100th day of school. And bonus points if your 100th day of school project is a counting project where they have to bring 100 of something. It really ties in nicely with this book because that's what they're doing as well. And the next low prep thing that we always did on the 100th day is a writing prompt. Now, bear with me, I get it. It sounds too academic, like you'll lose them here. But you keep it fun with a 100th day topic. Like if I were 100 years old, if I had $100, that's always fun in kindergarten because they want to buy a house or, all kinds of silly things. The other topics could be, if I had to eat 100, what could you eat 100 of? There's all different things you can do, but if you keep it structured the same, like in my classroom, we had 5-star sentences. So we would write a 5-star sentence about whatever our 100 topic was. So it was still familiar and set them up for success. But it was a fun twist because it went along with the 100th day. Another great way to keep things feeling fun on the 100th day is to break up your day with movement breaks by doing 100 somethings, 100 jumping jacks, 100 toe touches, march in place 100 times. There are all kinds of great brain breaks on YouTube that you can find for the 100th day of school too if you want to put something up on the screen for a little while. Keep it fun and focused on 100 and it will feel special for the 100th day. If you'd like some ready-to-use resources all in one place for the 100th day, writing pages, a fun hat craft that you can do, station ideas, print and go activities, we have our 100th day low prep activity bundle available on our website shop. I will drop that in the show notes so you can grab that link. It's designed to save you time, not add more to your plate. And please remember, your students do not need a Pinterest perfect day to make the 100th day of school feel special. They're going to remember how it felt, the fun they had, and the celebration, not how long you stayed up preparing for this day. You're not winning extra awards for going above and beyond for the 100th day of school. You can keep it simple and still have a ton of fun, and that doesn't make you a bad teacher. In fact, it makes you a great teacher because you're saving your energy for things that matter. All right, thanks for listening to the Kindergarten Toolbox. I'm Amy. Until next time. Thanks for listening to the Kindergarten Toolbox. I'm Amy Murray, and I'm so glad you're here. Be sure to check the show notes for all the links and resources from today's episode. For even more tips, tools, and support, head to teachingexceptionalkinders.com or connect with me on Instagram at teachingexceptionalkinders. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow along and subscribe to the show and take a minute to leave a review. It helps other kindergarten teachers to find us too. Teaching kindergarten is tough, but you're not alone. Here's to calmer days and more confident writers. You've got this.